Hey, hey, Scorpio, Intuitive Soul Coach here. Welcome back if you are returning, and welcome if you are new. I'm Mel, an intuitive reader, and I'm grateful you found me today. All right, Scorpio, let's dive in here and take a peek at what is unfolding for you this month. I am being shown books, lots and lots of books. So either you are in research mode, some of you are taking classes or courses, maybe learning more about yourself or learning more about a situation. You may even be teaching courses or sharing your story through writing a book. Now, the book can also represent legal contracts or negotiations. So it feels like there is a change for the better coming through. And there's the book, actually. We have the Y card showing up as your key theme. And she is picking up the book and it says why. So right now you are in a mindset of trying to figure out solutions, trying to figure out ways to move forward, perhaps to increase your flow of abundance or how to stabilize your life more. I'm also seeing here reciprocity. So there could be an energy here of receiving adequate abundance for what it is that you are offering. Whether this is in your career, whether this is a relationship. I also see you researching and learning more about your body, but also you're being reminded to apply discernment and logic to a situation, but also trust in the wisdom of your body. Because we often read a lot, right? I don't know about you guys, but I'm always reading and listening to podcasts and taking classes and learning. But until we apply what it is that we've learned, it's just knowledge. But when we apply it to our lives, we can alchemize it and turn it into wisdom. And that is power right there. And I feel like you are finding ways to live and lead a purpose-driven life. Yeah, you have healthy choices coming through. You have the Two of Pentacles and you actually have the Tower. You have the Moon coming through. But what you don't see, Scorpio, is the Star at the bottom of the deck with the Ace of Swords. Now, we're moving into eclipse season. And it feels like there's a lot of truth coming through here for you. I also see you are taking a look at your belief system. So for many of you, the book has to do with how you've been conditioned. This may have to do with systems, right? Systems that have played out our whole life or over time or based on past dynamics that we have gone through, past relationships, or if we've been in a job for quite some time, or if you have held on to a certain belief, over time, these things begin to shake up, these things begin to crumble, or they don't work for us in the ways that they once did. So the book that I was seeing earlier, well, a lot of them could be connected to the Akashic records, right? Your divine blueprint. So moving into your key theme, you're questioning things here. You are questioning things, which is a good thing because it means that you are aware that something in your life is not working. And when you become aware, that's the first step. Because when you are aware that this isn't working for me, or this is triggering, or this is uncomfortable, or this isn't something that I want to continue staying in, you have the ability to negotiate new terms for yourself. You have the ability to make a new choice that's going to put you towards a new outcome or a different way of living, a different way of seeing a situation. Some of you have felt locked down in that hanged man energy. Perhaps you were in a state of suspension for a while as you were going back and forth, weighing up some pros and cons. making some choices, but you didn't want to make the wrong one, because we don't often know what's on the other side. But that's where that blind faith and that trust comes in, where you are guided to listen to and trust your inner knowing. And this is also number 31. Now, some of you may be born on the 31st. 31 is the final day of the month, right? For many months. And I see that you are finalizing a chapter, right? The book, a chapter of your life that has felt perhaps a bit difficult. But I see that you're moving towards a new role here. There's recovery, there's healing, there's a brighter future. You are being guided to listen to your North Star, even if that means a shakeup of what you've known your entire life. And that can be difficult. It requires courage. It requires bravery. Your resilience is your superpower, meaning you get knocked down 9 times, you get up 10. I see that you're not going to give up on a dream, even if that dream doesn't look the way you once thought it did. I see that you are reevaluating your life and you are saying, I don't want to stay in this energy. It feels not aligned, right? It feels misaligned in some way. So you are finding ways to work with what you have, but also to find alternatives to say, okay, I can lean into this new path or this new direction. So I see a lot of thinking, right? A lot of logic coming through. But I also see that this Pisces season, because you have the moon, is awakening something deep within your soul. There is a deepening here of your spiritual truth, and there is a change that's happening within you. So don't be surprised, Scorpio, if you start to see some changes taking place in your outer world. But this is for the better. This is for the better. The tower is coming in with the moon. So first thing we do is go to worst case scenario. We think, oh my goodness, my life is in shambles, or I'm a hot mess, or how the heck am I going to get through this? But because you have the star, which literally comes after the tower in tarot, we have 16 with the tower and 17 with the star. I see that you have the ability to see things clearly. And this belief system that may be crumbling, it's because it wasn't perhaps strong in the first place, or it wasn't benefiting you, or it's no longer benefiting you. So a belief system is being shaken up, and your entire world may be shaken up, but what you don't see again is that star. There's truth, there's honesty, there's enlightenment coming through. And that's often what eclipse energy brings in. So you have the Two of Pentacles here. The Two of Pentacles is weighing up some choices, or it could even be a choice that is made externally. And it kind of throws you for a little bit of a loop. You're like, okay, my business just got bought out, or the company that you work for, or it could be a relationship truth is surfacing. It could even be a health issue that you have, maybe you didn't see coming, but you knew something was off. I see that you are approaching this with clarity. You're not making rushed or impulsive choices or decisions. You're not making choices based in fear. And that's why the moon is coming through, because sometimes we do start to let fear take over. But because you have this King of Pentacles, Scorpio, you are someone who is quite stable. And I see that you have the ability to draw in the energy of financial abundance. This could be a career turn. You see that he is driving the ship and he has the pentacle as his wheel there. So the tower could actually be redirecting you towards a financial future that is more consistent and more stable than you realize, even if it feels like something is crumbling right now. And same with your health. It's important that this is addressed and looked at now, because that's why the tower comes in. The tower isn't here to scare us. It's not here to instill fear. It's saying, hey, let's address this now so we can live and lead a better life. And I see with that King of Pentacles, that's exactly what you are wanting to do. Because sometimes this tower can be self-induced, right? Sometimes it's a major shift that happens because we've been wishing and praying for change for so long that when it comes, we're like, wait a second, it's here. What do I do? And our first initial response is to react with fear. But really, when the dust settles, which I see the dust is actually settling maybe sooner than you think with that star right on the heels of the tower, you have the Seven of Wands and you have the Six of Pentacles. What you may not see, Scorpio, is the Seven of Wands is about you advocating for yourself. It is about you non-conforming. It is about you living a, again, purpose-driven life. You are someone who is adventurous. I see, Scorpio, that you are someone who follows your passions. The Seven of Wands tells me that you may be going off the beaten path, but I feel like you are born to stand out. And that's why the Tower is here, because even though there may be some changes in stability or foundation with that King of Pentacles, you're trusting in your inner compass. You're trusting in that North Star. So there could be something unconventional that you are leaning into when it comes to your professional world, when it comes to relationships. I see that many of you are travelers or gypsy souls is what I'm getting here, or you may be traveling in the near future, or you're finding unconventional ways to generate wealth and income or alternative paths to feeling better. I see that many of you are getting out and moving your body, maybe connecting with nature here with the Seven of Wands, but you're cultivating inner peace, which means you're not focused on things that are out of your control. And it feels like there is a soul lesson that you have learned around conformity, perhaps around walking on eggshells or staying confined to a situation, but you've outgrown that lesson or you've learned what you've needed to. And that's why the Six of Pentacles is showing up, because the Six of Pentacles is reciprocity. It is about charitable contributions. There may even be some sort of refund or financial award that comes your way. This could even be a settlement. It could be a loan. It could be compensation for your hard work. Wherever it has felt imbalanced in your life is being shaken up. So wherever in your life, and maybe this is one area, it could be multiple areas that have felt like the scales have kind of tipped more and they've been staying at that tipped space. There is a shift coming in with the Tower in order to rebalance the scales here, in order to bring in reciprocity. And you are saying, I am not going to conform to the old way of doing things, or I'm not going to stay on lockdown within this company, or I'm not going to stay in a relationship that's one-sided. How bold are you, Scorpio, for making a strong choice that is directly impacting your recovery, your healing journey? And this is also a dream or a wish. So the star coming through here, like I said, on the heels of the Tower, tells me this change for you, it may feel abrupt, but I actually feel like you settle into a new normal or into a new timeline or a new trajectory sooner than you think with clarity. It feels like you are clear of why something is happening, or you're clear about what you need to do to move forward. And once you set your mind to this, there's no stopping you, because right below the star, we have the Ace of Swords. This is the Ace of Truth, the Ace of Communication, the Ace of Clarity. So the potential here is to see things more clearly, especially with that moon. That moon can cloud our judgment. But because we have this Piscean energy, Pisces season coming through at the end of the month, we are moving full into eclipse energies here. I definitely see that you are moving away from anything that feels imbalanced, or you are coming up with solutions to restore order and justice in your life. So let's look at career. We have the Anchor. So something that you have felt anchored to or tethered to, this could even be a subconscious belief, right? The tower can often be a shift in our belief system. And I see that you are lifting up anchor. Any money blockages or stories that have been simmering below the surface are starting to arise within you, and you're saying, okay, I get it. I get that that was a fear of mine. I get that that was a sabotaging behavior, or I get that I felt like I was too much or not enough. And that was compounding some sort of struggle that you were going through or are going through. This is about you moving towards calmer waters. And I feel like that's exactly where the King of Pentacles is taking you. The King of Pentacles here is someone who is very structured, someone who's very organized, someone who's very business savvy, someone who stays calm under pressure. And I feel like that is a gift of yours. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have anxiety, but it feels like you're not making rash or impulsive choices or You're not decisions. You're not lashing out. It feels like you are finding tools that help you regulate your nervous system, that help you get out of that maybe fight or flight response, because that Seven of Wands, as I mentioned, she's out there in nature, and yes, she may be taking the path less traveled, but it requires courage and bravery. And the only way to step into that is when we have a regulated nervous system. It is hard to move forward when our nervous system is on lockdown, or in this case, when it's anchored. So I see that you could be relocating, you could be traveling. There is water energy coming in left and right. So again, Pisces season feels significant, where this could be when a lot of this change happens and occurs for you. And you have unlocking. What was locked can now be opened. You have opened the floodgates of abundance without limitation. Yes, you have. And there have been blocks, right? And the blocks have been guiding you, because some of you may have found that you weren't on the right path, or it felt very sticky, or it felt uneven. It wasn't aligned with your spiritual truth. And you may have really gotten honest with yourself about what you need, what you want moving forward. That's that King of Pentacles. He is someone who's very honest, someone who's very trustworthy, and looks at their finances, looks at their budgets, looks at the health of a relationship or health of one's body. And he says, okay, this is me taking a mature stance or a mature approach, but you have the ability here to unlock. And that's exactly what you're doing. You hold the key this month. And I see that this tower, whether it's something that you are initiating or something external, I feel like you are responding in a way that tells me you are very capable of embodying change, Scorpio. And change can be challenging, right? Because we tend to like conformity, or we tend to like a system, or we like the stability of a situation. And it feels like, yes, something is getting shaken up here for you, but because you naturally are creating this inner peace, this inner sense of stability within your own nervous system, I feel like you're going to be okay, and you're coming out of something quicker than you may have thought. And it's for the better as well. So let's look at relationships. This can be family. This can be romantic. This could be friendships. It can be dynamics of people you work with. You have the teddy bear coming through. I see gifts. Now, it could be that you are receiving, it could be a Valentine's, it could be someone's birthday, or someone is offering up some sort of invitation of love. And it could be flowers, it could be chocolates, it could be a teddy bear. It says someone is interested in you. Someone may be flirting with you. And that could be the Two of Pentacles. Now, for some of you, this could even be someone that you work with, or someone that works in your field or in your industry. You don't have to work in the same department as them, but it feels like you may connect through work. You could also connect through nature, or doing something that feels competitive or sporty, such as tennis. Maybe you enjoy playing tennis at the Y. You could meet someone who also enjoys playing tennis. So I see that someone may let you know this month how they feel, and that could shock you. It could come as a surprise with that Tower. You're like, wow, I didn't know this person had feelings for me. Or for some of you, it could be that you hear news of someone going through a divorce or going through some sort of rebalancing, and you may find yourself drawn or attracted to this energy, but at the same time, you don't want to get entangled, and you're like, when the dust settles, we can go there. But right now, I'm trying to balance out some things as you are. So it could be that there is a reunion or a reconnect after, again, after that dust kind of settles. Now, if you are in a relationship, this could be a really good time to maybe travel or to reconnect with each other by coming together, Six of Pentacles, by participating in a new hobby or maybe going out and enjoying dinner together. I see that you have the ability to stable things up or, again, come together in some new ways. For those of you that are going through difficulty, this could be a Tower moment with a loved one or a family member. I'm going to share this with you, especially for those of you that are caregivers, parents, or if you are healers or light workers. Sometimes we want to jump in and give advice. I'm guilty of this, especially when it comes to my children. But sometimes we need to let them make mistakes. Right? We have to let them learn their lessons. I always say we can lead a horse to water, but we can't make it drink. So it's important that you listen when they need a listener and to give advice when they need advice. But it's up to them to be able to take that advice and do something with it, but we don't always have to jump in and fix things. And this is something I've had to learn myself, where now I will ask my children, do you want me to listen or do you want my advice? Because oftentimes they just want somebody to listen to them. And you have here this ability to do the same for another, to stand as a stable ground or a support system while someone that you love may be going through a bit of a challenge or a difficult time, maybe with their health or with their own marriage, if this is an adult child, or it could be that you have a child who's going through some transformation here or a family member. But ultimately here, I feel like there is truth, there's communication, and there will be some clarity, especially moving into the month of March, okay? Now, if you are single, I see that you want someone who is honest. I mean, who doesn't, right? But sometimes we fall back into old conditions or old behaviors of trauma or drama that we have witnessed growing up or witnessed in the past. And I see that you have moved through that energy. You don't want to settle for less than you deserve. You want someone who's not a hot mess, right? You want someone who's financially stable. You want someone who is emotionally mature and available. I see that you want someone who's not going to play games. You want someone who is adventurous and spontaneous, but you also want there to be commonality between the both of you. And with this Six of Pentacles, some of you may have been single for quite some time, but I do see there's the ability to meet and connect with others through learning, all right, or putting yourself on a course of learning, or maybe it could be an online dating site or something online, because the books can represent the swords, right, or technology as well. So I see here that you have the ability to get to know someone a bit deeper. And another message is don't judge a book by its cover, okay? Don't judge a book by its cover. Of course, listen to your intuition, use your discernment, pay attention to red flags. But I see here that there could be someone that is outside of your norm, Scorpio, that may really be interested in you, or it may surprise you. You may have never gone for this type of person, and it's shaping your new belief system here. where you're thinking, okay, I've always went for the King of Wands, but now I'm going to go for the King of Pentacles. And so you are kind of weighing up some pros and cons, and the moon could certainly be here to intuitively guide you. Seven of Wands, take a chance, be spontaneous, put yourself out there. And the Six of Pentacles, you may realize that you have more in common with this person, and you can absolutely grow and build the life together if that's what you want. All right, we have healthy choices. This is about self-love and self-care. So regardless of where you are at in matters of relationships, you are taking care of you, Scorpio, eating healthier, perhaps staying more hydrated. I do see here some of you are eating more smoothies, or you are maybe making more of your home, your foods from home. Maybe you're eating out less, or you are going to like Whole Foods. It feels like you are connecting with your body. You're moving your body a bit more, just making some healthy choices when it comes to your life in general. And you also want to attract someone who's also healthy, or someone who wants to take care of themselves as well. And that's very important when it comes to relationship dynamics. So for example, if you are a non-drinker, or if you don't drink very often, but yet you meet someone who is a huge drinker to the point of alcoholism, there's going to be a mismatch regardless of, the attraction or the spark. So I feel like you want the whole package, right? You want to be able to check off those boxes. And if someone is not a match for your energy, that's where the Tower comes in and says, okay, I have the ability to renegotiate, or I can redirect. And that's what you're doing, because you deserve to be happy. You deserve to love and live your best life. And that's what you're doing here. All right, the chakra that is coming through for you this month, Scorpio, you have the heart chakra, which is obviously located in the heart region. It's about generosity. And your message is this: generosity is sharing. I give myself freely, and I am open to opportunities to do so. I do this because I can, and I expect nothing in return. Speaking from the heart will let those around me know how I feel about them. My generosity will touch another person's heart and replenish their spirit. Through love, I have a positive, spontaneous, and lasting influence on the healing and transformation of both myself and others. Wow, that is the King of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles in a nutshell. I'm just going to repeat this last section for you. Through love. Now, do we have here? Okay, we have the Star. I was just seeing if we had any cups in your reading. Now, through love, many of you are opening yourself up. You're opening this heart center. And again, it says, through love, I have a positive, spontaneous, and lasting influence on the healing and transformation of both myself and others. All right, both myself and others. Yes, this is a lasting transformation that you are going through here, Scorpio. And I see with that King of Pentacles, this is you staying consistent with your newfound health regime, or staying consistent when it comes to going after what it is that you want, and not backing down, right? Seven of Wands, you're advocating for yourself. You're saying, this is what I want, and I'm not going to settle for anything less. I'm not going to be anchored or tethered to or tied to a situation that I don't feel good in. And therefore, the Tower comes in, and you are setting yourself on a course that feels much more enriched. It feels lively. It feels fun. It feels spontaneous. And it feels, yes, it feels stable as well, even if things right now are kind of shifting. Now, lastly, you have the Pilgrim. The Pilgrim is your archetype, and I'm going to find this in the guidebook. One moment. All right, Scorpio, the pilgrim is the wanderer, the traveler, the apprentice. Did I say King of Wands earlier? It feels like the King of Wands energy is showing up in your reading, even though we have the King of Pentacles. So I know I mentioned King of Wands as in you may have been attracted to a King of Wands, but now you're kind of leading into more of that King of Pentacles. That's what you're looking for. But it still feels like a gypsy soul, or it feels like the wanderer here, which is what I was getting earlier. And the pilgrim confirms that. For the pilgrim, an outward journey is always an inward journey. This archetypal wanderer seeks wisdom, experience, and meaning in the farthest reaches of the globe and the deepest regions of the spirit. Others will wonder when the pilgrim will settle down and claim a more conventional life. But the pilgrim knows that the heart belongs in motion. That's that Seven of Wands energy. Where there is motion, there is freedom, expansion, and growth. Responsibilities, social conventions, and logistics lull us to sleep. And soon the pilgrim becomes veiled in the slumber of the day-to-day. That's that anchor. Yet when this archetype awakens, it rallies our sense of adventure and leads us out the door toward a new reality. With the pilgrim at your side, you will never lack courage, nor do you need every amenity. Travel light, travel soon. Your spirit needs it. Now, we talked a lot about that with the Seven of Wands here. So many of you are stepping into a threshold that feels, like I said, adventurous. It feels spontaneous, maybe a bit more passionate as well. When this shows up as the light aspect, this learns, it grows, it adapts, it studies. Remember all the books earlier? Okay, so yeah, learns, grows, adapts, and studies. When this shows up as the dark, it can be aloof, it can be non-committal, or flaky. Maybe you've dealt with individuals or energy that was showing up as the dark aspect of the pilgrim. Even in the stillness of meditation, the pilgrim feels the movement of the heart towards what it loves. And lastly, we all have a deep longing to answer the call, to get unstuck. What are the obstacles between you and the door? Let me know in the comment section below, what are the obstacles between you and the door? Or meditate on this. Think about it. Because you have the Tower here, which is shaking up those obstacles. It is helping remove those obstacles that feel anchored, that feel tethered. And once that obstacle is out of the way, right, you have the ability to step into this new threshold, that star. But first, it's important to open yourself up to study, to learn, to adapt, and to grow. That is what I have for you, beautiful Scorpios. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed the message, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you haven't already. And if you are interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find that information in the description box below the video or by visiting intuitivesoulcoach.com.